Okay. So that's the end of the episode here. But honestly, if I was that guy that just lost the fight, I don't know his name. I'm not gonna lie. I'm so terrible with names, like as far as like anime goes. But if I were him, I honestly would have just gone ahead and like quit from the beginning though, if you think about it, because his friend, like his best friend, already had been beaten, so he's automatically gonna be kicked out of the group anyway. So I kind of wonder why he was like trying to like stay in the group there. Like if your friend got kicked out, then you might as well just, you know, go ahead and go with them, since it seemed like that was like his childhood friend from what he was saying. So if your friend's gone, then hey, you know, I'll go ahead and go with them. like at one point, if he saw like he was gonna be beaten, then I think he should have just gotten over with that, in my opinion though. But yeah, I think he just wanted to like try and like see like if he could stay in the group, which for me, honestly, I feel like that's not like a real group that I would want to be a part of anyway, just from the way that like Tagami is. Like if you watch the episode, like Tagami was really like focusing in on like what was happening. Like he was kind of like, I don't know, like I wouldn't say disappointed, but he seemed like kind of like he was analyzing like what was going on, like kind of in like a, I don't know, like a hunting kind of way. If you think about it, like kind of like sorting out the competition and seeing like how like strong like the other team was compared to his team. Like he was really like zoned in, whereas the other guys were kind of just like relaxing and like having fun like with the whole thing, or just like kind of complimenting each other, whereas he's like like really like focused in and like honing in on like what was going on, which is really like, it kind of speaks to his character. And that's why I say like I feel like that Tagami is like originally the leader of that group, and Tomiyama is just kind of like having to take the reins out of nowhere, which I don't know. Like I said, I haven't read the manga or anything like that, so I don't know like what the backstory as far as all that is. Eventually I would assume they would like explain all that maybe throughout the episodes, but so far they haven't like gone into detail about why Tomiyama is the leader or whatever. But again, Tagami just gives me like leader vibes. But also with Susan, like he seems like really like he like got trained or something, like he's practiced like the whole like fighting stance and stuff. Like he's giving like a defensive style, but he can also do offensive, which if you guys noticed like during the episode, he was like kind of like defending like the attacks that were coming at him rather than like having to like fight and stuff like that, like, you know, constantly be on like the offense like the other guy was, which I think that would probably be like how I fight. More defensive style. Which obviously I play well and I'm a healer. I'm a priest, so yeah, like I prefer like defensive styles, which again, I knew this was gonna be like my favorite character besides Sakura. But he's like very like, I guess like experienced. Like again, I kind of wonder like what was going on with that. Even like the Deku character, he even has like notes about him like saying like he's like really like well known, but they don't have like a lot of information about him, which is really weird to me. Like they don't know like any fights or like how many fights he's been in or who he's fought or anything, but they know like a lot of information, or they've heard about him quite a bit, which is really neat, I think. But again, it's kind of weird that they don't know. You know he's been in fights, but you don't know with who, so it's like okay. That's kind of weird. But I do like his defensive style of fighting versus like offensive. And again, like he's giving like freaking like crouching tiger, hidden dragon type of fighting style to me. Like I think that's like really neat. And again, he gives me like Goro Majima from Yakuza video games vibes. Like that's literally what he gives me. And if you guys know Goro Majima's character, you know that like he's kind of like a jokey character, but he like gets like really serious like in an instant. So that's why I definitely see like parallels with his character in that regard. But yeah, I'm kind of like worried. I was worried about like how the fights were gonna pan out, because yeah, with the first fight, like the guy He got one shot. What is that about? Like, oh my gosh. Like, I didn't know what to expect about, like, the fighting and everything. Like, I thought, like, maybe, I don't know, similar to, like, how Sue fought, like, maybe people have, like, specific, like, fighting styles or something like that, and, like, you would just kind of hope that you beat the other guy. But, yeah, it seems like they're more, like, I guess, like, more, like, Yakuza style. And it seems like, from what I can tell, like, Susan is really, like, the only one that has, like, any specific training as far as, like, fighting, like, and, you know, actually learning, like, martial arts and stuff like that. At least that's the vibe that I'm getting so far. I feel like everybody's kind of just more like a street fighter kind of person, or, like, a bar fight kind of person. Like, I don't know. At least that's just what I see. Like, they're kind of, like, more focused on brute strength and stuff, and just kind of, even though, you know, Sakura and the others are saying, like, oh, like, we don't worry about strength and stuff like that, that's kind of like the vibe that I'm getting as far as, like, fighting and stuff like that goes. So I assume, like, that's, like, the style that they're, like, doing, you know. At least that's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but I assume, like, that's what they have going on, especially from what I've seen so far. And hopefully, like, the other fights will be a bit better, because, yeah, I feel like kind of, like, rushed. It seems like kind of rushed. We literally got through, like, 2 fights in 1 episode, and there's, like, what, 3 or 4 more fights up? But I think Tagami's fight with Sakura is going to be huge, because, honestly, I'm really worried about Sakura, because, again, like, Tagami looks sort of like he analyzes people similar to how the Deku character does, without, like, taking notes. Like, he kind of, like, watches and can maybe, like, figure out, like, what this person's weakness is, and kind of, I guess, if you, like, know about, like, UFC and stuff like that, like, people kind of, like, watch videos and stuff like that before they fight an opponent. That's kind of, like, the vibe that I was getting from Tagami when he was watching the one-on-ones. Like, he was kind of, like, watching, like, oh, this person is, you know, good in this area, or, you know, I wonder how I'd beat them or something like that. That's the vibe that I was getting from Tagami, at least when he was, like, watching. So I'm worried, like, for Sakura, because I feel like even though Sakura, like, has to, like, fight his whole life, like, all of his life he had to fight. I just kind of get, like, a vibe that, like, he might get his butt whooped here. Like, I don't know. I'd hate to say that, but I feel like Tagami's probably gonna whoop his ass as far as, like, Sakura goes. That's just what I think. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But I think Tagami's gonna end up winning that fight against Sakura. And I don't know about Tomiyama and Umi at all. Like, I don't know if he's gonna, like, because I feel like I'm leaning more to Umi, because I feel like he's more, like, relaxed and not, like, as, like, rushy and kind of, like, impatient, whereas Tomiyama is kind of like, like, let's go, like, freaking, maybe he's, like, more prone to, like, messing up and, you know, like, not paying attention, and may get tripped up, similar to, like, how Susan was doing in his fight. So maybe Umi has the advantage in that regard, because he seems like way more relaxed and kind of, like, paying attention and stuff like that, whereas yeah, Tomiyama, I think it's, like, the complete opposite. But maybe, again, I'm wrong, but that's just the vibe that I'm getting. And also Hiragi's fight, I feel like, is gonna be, like, another important fight. If I remember watching last episode, the episode 4, I feel like there's something, like, going on with him and his opponent, because I think, like, they come off like they know each other. If you guys, like, remember, like, when he was challenged in the last episode, he kind of gave off, like, a vibe like he knew him or something like that. Like, he was, like, surprised that the guy, like, stepped up and challenged him or something. So I don't know, like, what's going on with that. Like, maybe they know each other or something, but I don't know. It was kind of, like, weird, I guess, to me. So I think the third fight is going to be important, but like Umi said, I think just the 2 leaders are gonna have, like, the most important fight if you think about that, because it's obviously Umi-chan versus I call him Umi-chan. Umi versus Tomiyama. So I think like those two definitely are gonna have like the most important fight, because again, like the stakes are so freaking high. Like the fact that like they will literally take over like the other school, which I wonder like what Umi's goal is gonna be, like why he wants to take over. Well, if that's his goal, if you think about it, because obviously Tomiyama said like straight up like he wanted to take control of their school, and he just wants to be around them and stuff like that, which is okay. Like obviously like it looks like he's kind of like closed off with Tagami quite a bit from what I noticed. Like I feel like he's kind of like just like only around Tagami, and like the other guys are kind of just like there. Like I don't know, I just don't sense like a kind of like a union, or like like people like kind of being like together as far as like the Lionhead group goes. But I wonder like what Umi's goal is gonna be then, as far as like him like beating their school. Like if he ends up winning, like what is his goal, I wonder. Like he doesn't give me the vibe that like he wants to like take over their school and like be like an asshole, like to like just do like terrible things to him and stuff like that. But I kind of wonder like what's going on with that, like why he wants to like take over their school. Like what's going on? Like is he gonna maybe like do like a reform of their school, or maybe he's gonna like go over there and just like help them and stuff like that. I don't know, like I don't know, obviously. But yeah, I am really wondering like what he's gonna do as far as like his goal, because he didn't necessarily like say like what he wanted, So yeah, I think I'll go ahead and get ready to end the video here though, guys. Again, we have like 3 more fights. So it's Hiragi's fight, Sakura's fight, and Umi's fight, which I think they're gonna save Umi's fight for last. That's what I would assume. But yeah, like I just feel like it's just a lot going on. It's kind of like going quickly from what I can see. But yeah, I will go ahead and get ready to end the video here though. I'm super excited about the next episode. I'm happy that I saw Su's fight though. He's like my favorite character, like I said, besides Sakura. And I like Umi as well. But yeah, Susan is my favorite character so far. I love his little eye patch. He's so cute to me. But yeah, I'm assuming like either Hiragi is gonna go next or Sakura. Which I think Sakura's fight is gonna be like the most important. Again, I think freaking Sagami is gonna beat Sakura. Unfortunately, like I love Sakura, but I think he's gonna get freaking bodied. I'm sorry, because just Sagami just gives me the vibes like he's like really like skilled, similar to like Susan. But yeah, I will go ahead and end the video here, guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow with Beastars. I am starting up on season 2. I don't know if I'm going to record that to YouTube or if I will record that to Twitch. It just all depends of what I decide to do. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week with Windbreaker episode 6.